What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Johnny, back with another video. Today's topic: Booker T. Washington. Not a lot of our young guns know much about Booker T. So, like I said, man, I'm here to tie the past with the current times to create a brighter future for all. You know what I mean? Knowledge is power, but only if you apply that knowledge. Booker T. Washington, born 1856, born a slave, rose to become an African American leader, as well as an intellectual in the 19th century, founding the Tuskegee Institute. Now, in 2021, they'll tell you that you're oppressed and that you can't be something, and that the white man is holding you back. But my guy, born into slavery, said, nah, you can't stop me. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And if you like what you hear, please share the video. See, I'm a big fan of Booker T. Washington because he believed in work. And he has a ton of great quotes that I challenge you guys to go read. I challenge you to read his book, Up From Slavery. I challenge you to read his book, Character Building. When I seen he had a book called Character Building, it was really nuts to me. When I looked up the Atlanta Compromise, there's just a lot about this man that I really didn't know. But I got this quote here, and I was like, man, I got to put this quote out to the world. I got to make a video because more people need to hear this. Because it reminds me of current days times, if you will. There is another class of colored people who make a business of keeping the troubles, the wrongs, and the hardships of the Negro race before the public. Sound a little Black Lives Matter-ish to me, don't you think? Having learned that they are able to make a living out of their troubles and have grown into settled habit of advertising their wrongs, partly because they want sympathy and partly because it pays, aka the Black Lives Matter lady who just bought 3 houses, and another one just got a job on a police board overseeing police in California. Some of these people do not want the Negro to lose their grievances because they do not want to lose their jobs. And I say, anytime it's a Republican president, it's white supremacy, the government is racist, America is racist, they holding us back. But the minute it's a Democrat president, they want the masses to run to the government and bow down, and that's daddy. Barack Obama was daddy. If you don't vote for Joe, you ain't black. Meanwhile, nothing in your environment, nothing in your inner city has gotten any better. I'm sure most mayors are Democrat. I know they are where I live. Kansas City, Chicago, Detroit, Baltimore, Oakland. You name it. Atlanta. Poverty is rising. Homicide rates are rising. Democrat politicians. You got Lori Lightfoot sitting on the steps posing with a Chicago Sky jersey on just because they won the WNBA championship. What does it winning the WNBA championship matter? Why don't you save them little babies who getting shot by stray bullets? But it ain't money in that. There is no money in fixing the inner city. There is only money in pretending you care. 90% of these people didn't grow up in these urban environments. You know, one of the things that's changed since Booker T. Washington made this quote is he said that they have learned to make a living out of their troubles. The people that are making the profit nowadays, it's not their trouble. They just share the same skin color as you. And half of them are biracial. You know, it was a big deal when Sage Steele said that Barack Obama chose his black side when he never met his black daddy. What's not true about that? He was raised by his white mama and his white grandma. I did a 23andMe and it says I'm 22% European. Should I run around claiming I'm white? Or no? I should stick with what I look like, right? You always heard that quote, all skin folk ain't kinfolk, but the biggest problem has always been the biracial people who've been pushing the line. And I say that because W.E.B. Du Bois, who was born a free man in the North, look it up, graduated from Harvard. He disagreed with Booker T. Washington. He thought Booker T. didn't know what he was talking about. An actual slave, Booker T. Washington said, hey, this is what we need to progress and to prosper. And another person who had nothing to do with the situation who helped found the NAACP, which was founded by himself and a group of liberals, thought they knew what was best for the masses and thought we should come up with the talented 10th and all that stuff. And here we are today, where you got black individuals who really grew up in the urban environment, who really came from the inner city, who are saying, hey, this is the key to getting out of these systems, and this is the key to changing it. And then you got an intellectual or a Colin Kaepernick who ain't ever lived in an urban environment who want to get on TV and crying and talking about what you need to do to fix the inner city. Like they was watching bodies drop. Like my mom used to wake me up and put me in the bathtub, so if bullets came through, the bullets hit the bathtub before they came through our house. Like when you really lived in a war zone, you're not worried about racism. I never seen white people in my whole childhood growing up. I seen other black people. When there was a shootout on 51st and Purcell, there was black people shooting at each other. When that little girl got shot on the front steps on 31st, that was a black man that shot her in the head. So I can't relate to what people talking about white supremacy this and white supremacy that. Because every trigger I done seen pulled was by another black person. You know, between the ages of probably 5 and 13, I went to a funeral every Saturday of a family member of mine. And then I became 13, and then I started losing friends. My first basketball team I played on my freshman year of high school, out of that 14-man roster, 9 of the men are dead. But you wouldn't hear that, though. You would just hear that white people been hunting us down the whole time. And like LeBron James said, it's hard being black in America. Meanwhile, as a little kid, I'm watching my black friends drop left and right. You know, you always hear the quote, we ain't supposed to make it past 25, and that's true. Most people in the inner city don't make it past 25. If they did, they would get a lot more enlightened on how life works. I know I did. I'm not special. I just had time to look back and reflect. And then if you read As a Man Thinketh by James Allen, you'll understand that your mind is literally a garden. So if I'm planting a bunch of negative seeds from rap music and drugs and culture, then that's what I'm going to manifest into my life. And we have a certain group of African Americans that they don't want you to prosper. They don't want you to grow. They don't want you to learn about the master key system. They don't want you to read Self-Reliance by Ralph Waldo Emerson. They just want you to listen to Migos and Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion and vote Democrat. And I challenge, anyone who hears this video or anyone that shares this message to start thinking for yourself and doing for yourself. There's no power inside of one man that's not inside of every man. So if you look at Jeff Bezos and you see he's created Amazon, and you look at Elon Musk and you see he's created Tesla, ask yourself how you could do that. What's the upgraded version to that and how you can put it out better? I solely believe we have to get out of comparison mode and get into creator mode, and that is the way to fix our problems. Running around with grievances and saying the white person did this, the white person did that, that's not going to help anybody. In case you haven't realized that. It helps the 3 chicks that founded Black Lives Matter, but Tamir Rice's mom has complained. Mike Brown's parents have complained. Breonna Taylor's parents have complained. All of this is a big joke. You got 15 George Floyd statues popping up everywhere. Meanwhile, the homicide rate in Minnesota is crazier than it's been in I don't know how long. Everyday individual people aren't as stupid as it seems. My dad has been to jail over 50 times. I've never been to jail in my life. He said, if you don't want to go to jail, don't do stupid things. If you get pulled over by the police, shut up. If you don't like what they do, get their badge number well handled. These is all things that I learned from my father. And my father was born in 1963. Booker T. Washington passed away in 1915. So that means this quote had to come from the late 1800s, early 1900s. So you mean to tell me since the beginning of time, there's been a group of people who willing to work hard and prosper, and there's been a group of people who want to sit back and complain? Yep. And we all know the complainers make more noise, which is why we have what we have in today's society. But quotes like this need to be spread far and wide. We need to understand that there's always been a way for us to survive. Even growing up in slavery, Tuskegee Institute still stands to this day. So we can look back at something that a man who was actually slave, he created. My question to you is, what will you create? What will be around 200 years after you've left this earth to show the current living generation that anything's possible? Because I know what I'm doing is I'm creating art to show young black boys and girls, and not even just black, because I get tired of putting people in that box when it comes to race. Anybody can be anything, anybody create anything, anybody can do anything. So with that being said, spread love, spread positive vibes, be the change that you wish to see in the world. Do not be on the side of people who just want to advertise their grievances because it pays. Understand that if you don't work, that if you don't eat, and every time you shine your light, man, you're inspiring somebody to unconsciously shine their light as well. So until next time, you too, spread love, spread positive vibes. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and we are out.